Good afternoon and welcome. This is Aaron with LatinFinance, and here with me I have Mr. Gonzalez of YPF, who's just completed our latest panel. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I'd like to start with, obviously, the atmosphere within the new government in Argentina and what impacts that has onto YPF and how that changes YPF's priorities in the short to medium term.
Well, thank you, Aaron. I think there's a lot of excitement in Argentina because of the changes. We are very optimistic that these changes will bring a significant reduction in our cost of capital and therefore the ability to develop the company to its full potential in medium to long term. So it hasn't had any meaningful short-term effects. The regulatory changes that the government has put in place has not affected significantly our industry, but it does, or it has helped other industries. So, as I said, we are very positive with the change.
Sure. So it's interesting that you're positive, but globally the oil and gas industry is not so positive. So are you able to discuss some of the challenges that YPF is facing against the global backdrop amidst quite low oil prices, although they have picked up in the last week or so?
Yeah, you're right. The global oil and gas industry has not been in a positive mode in the last couple of years now. I think the challenge for YPF is not different to that the rest of the companies in this sector are facing all over the world, which is making sure that we can take our cost structure to be sustainable, to be as profitable as we were with oil prices significantly below where they were. Our target at YPF is to be sustainable with a Brent in the $50 level. You know, a couple of months ago, when the Brent was in the mid-30s, that seemed like being ready for a price which was really far away. Now with the Brent in the high 40s, I think that if we are successful in taking the company to that level, we don't need to return to profitability because we are already profitable, but I think that we can significantly improve our profitability in the medium term and make a lot of our projects viable with those prices. With a cost structure which is not along those lines, we would just need more help from either the government or the local consumers in order to have oil prices significantly above international prices. I think that help you can expect for a short period of time, you cannot expect forever. So we are doing our homework together with the government, with the provinces, with the employees and the unions to make sure that we continue to have a viable company in the long term and that we are not just praying for the Brent to go up another $10, $20.
So with that in mind, I mean, what are the key areas of investment for YPF? Is it still, given that oil prices are starting to get a bit higher, is it time to start looking beyond midstream and focusing more on upstream projects, for example? If not that, what are the other key areas of investment?
We are a fully integrated company. All the oil that we produce in the upstream sector, we refine in our own refineries, and then we buy some oil locally from third parties. So we have a balanced portfolio of projects. We balance our capex to make sure that we continue to operate as a fully integrated company. The one thing that I can say is that in the upstream, we are leaning more towards natural gas than crude oil, again, because of the prices. Natural gas is a very important source of energy in Argentina. It's more than 50% of the energy matrix. And import parity prices are such that we believe that all of our projects are viable, are really profitable with those prices. So it looks like it's a way to go for us. As I said, we will continue with our oil projects because we are feeding our refinery base and because we are selling all of our fuels locally. But you will see from us, I hope you will continue to see a good balance between upstream and downstream. Now, one thing which you mentioned and is relevant, it's a midstream. We just incorporated a new VP to our organizational structure to focus in gas and power, and with an important part of his task being developing the midstream, having a strategic view towards the midstream. So that's also going to be part of the balance.
Okay. And what about the capital markets? I mean, what plans do you have for the capital markets? Do you need to tap the markets again this year?
We are almost fully funded for the year. We tapped the market last 2 weeks ago with a $1 billion 5-year debt issue. We expect to do most of the remaining funding locally.
Okay.
However, we were pleasantly surprised with new sources of funding becoming available from commercial banks with cross-border lines of credit that were not available before, to multilaterals. We're in the process of funding 100% of a wind project, wind power project with a multilateral. So it's a good spot to be in as compared to the last couple of years. We now have choices in terms of where and how to fund ourselves. So as I said, the base plan for the remainder of the year is local markets. We cannot fully rule out the possibility of receiving, as we have been, some reverse inquiry and eventually doing something else internationally. But it's clearly not our priority as we speak.
Okay. And final question, I'd just like to know a bit more about acquisition plans and inorganic growth. I mean, there has been one of the larger transactions that's hit the headlines, not necessarily involving YPF, but in Argentina is the Petrobras sale. In a similar vein, does YPF rather have any plans to grow inorganically in the region?
Well, we were indirectly involved in that transaction because we have an agreement with the acquirer, Pampa Energía, to acquire stakes, a 33% stake in a very large tight gas.
TGS?
No, it's a tight gas area called Rio Neuquén, and then another project in the upstream. So we will be investing $140 million just to make our part of that acquisition. Yeah. And that's a project that, if successful, between us and the other partners, and we will be investing north of $500 million in the next couple of years. So that's a very significant project, again, in line with our strategic view to develop natural gas in Argentina. Other than that, we are not looking at any significant acquisition going forward. Sure. We've done, and I think we've been successful and very disciplined in performing a couple of acquisitions in the past, in the last few years, but we don't have any acquisitions in our radar screen for now.
Okay. Daniel Gonzalez, thank you very much.